Right guys, get your envelopes out. We are going to make a very quick and easy folio from 3 envelopes. We're going to do it in under an hour. This was Soy Milk Muse's suggestion. She wanted to see a very quick folio that could be used for something like, you know, like a gift for a teacher or something like that, using just 3 envelopes. So they're 5x7 size, and we're just going to literally glue them in together. So I'm going to start by just, you know, concentrating the glue like on the folds here around the flaps. So this is our first kind of 2 envelopes. So pop those in. I always struggle a little bit to get these in without being really messy and getting glue everywhere, so bear with me. Oh my goodness. I feel a little bit like sort of against the clock here. So, because I just say, oh, we're going to try and do this in an hour, so yeah. Right, oh dear, I'm not even managing to glue this together. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Right, there we go. So, popped our envelope there. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've got glue, because of course we're going to be covering the envelope anyway, so, you know, it's going to be covered up. So, stick your pieces down, maybe with a glue spreader or something, like that. Okay, so that's going to be like one part of your folio, and then your other envelope. So depends whether you want it opening this way, so you'd have it like that and then like that, or if you want to have it kind of like folding in on itself, which in some ways is kind of like neater, I think, you know, to have it actually just folding in like that. So I'm probably going to just do mine like that. So again, just glue your envelope flap, but this time we're gluing this onto like the outside here of this envelope. So like that, just up to sort of the fold line basically, and just smoosh that down. Check obviously that it's going to fold in neatly, that you haven't kind of like, you know, sometimes you can glue it like too close and snug to the fold, that actually then it's kind of compromising it folding in on itself. So yeah, just be kind of like careful there. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do really is just cover the envelope with some decorative papers. So I've brought along here, this is my Paris collection, and we're just going to literally glue this down. So what I'm going to do is just take it here, so as I make the whole sheet kind of first of all like the rough size of the envelopes. Okay, like that. And then what I need to do really is kind of like get it so that I can trim out the envelope pieces, if you see what I mean. Now, I don't mind a torn look. If you are kind of not keen on that look, you might want to be, you know, doing this somehow slightly different. But I'm just going to literally tear this just approximately, oops, around the like envelope shape, if that makes sense. So just going to just tear it down like that. It doesn't have to be perfect at all, and we can always tidy this up in a minute. I'm so sorry if you can hear lots of traffic. It's really muggy today. It's not particularly sunny, but yeah, it's very muggy. So I've got the window open, I'm afraid. So here I've got like that base piece, and I'm just going to now tidy it up because, you know, I didn't make a great job of tearing it down. So just tidy that up like that. Taking just 1 or 2 of the pieces out. This one I think just needs to come down a bit more too. So like that. Okay, so just so as it kind of like fits in there roughly. And then for this side, we're just going to do, in fact, I'm going to do it this side now. So again, going to just tear it down approximately like in line with the envelope. And like I say, it really is not, you know, a big deal if it's not kind of quite in line. it doesn't really matter. And I can always tidy it up in a minute like we did that other piece. So taking that, let's just see, like that. So I'm going to take this piece down slightly more because it's looking a little bit gigantic at the moment. Okay, hopefully that's going to be a better fit. Okay, so it's not looking too bad. I just need to bring it down slightly here, like that. Okie doke. Yep, like that. That will do. And then probably what I want to do is actually cover this section. So here I could potentially get this inside one. Let me just see. Don't know whether it will fit or not. Might not. Is this going to fit? Just wondered whether I could have like lined the envelope with this, because it's always really great to actually make use of the whole of the envelope. So it just about kind of like fits in there. So it's a little bit screwed up, but it's fine. It's not going to really show. So what I will do, I'll glue this afterwards, because when I glue these pieces down on the top and I spread my glue out, it's likely to go onto here. So I don't want to put my decorative paper down, because then I'm going to kind of like ruin it. So I'm going to put this one down first, here, like this. Okay. Okie dokie. Oops. See, lucky I didn't have that piece in there, because straight away I kind of like dropped it, and I would have ended up with it covered in glue. So let's just smoosh that out. Oops. Like that. Like that. Okay, right. Smoosh that down. Okay, looking good. Okie dokie. Right, that one looks really cute. And then I just want to do the opposite side here. Like this. Now I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with the middle section yet. So, and we'll talk about that in a moment. I'm wondering whether I actually want to glue that down and have that as a sort of flat surface, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So just pop this here like that. Okay, just spread the glue out like that. I actually can't believe we're like nearly, you know, the middle of August, basically kind of like heading towards autumn. I mean, how fast has this year gone? Absolutely flown by, hasn't it? Just shocking. Really, really shocking. Because I was just doing this and I was thinking, oh, I must get on and make some autumn, you know, an autumn kit soon. I just can't believe that I'm even sort of thinking about autumn already. It feels like the summer's only just begun, but of course, you know, we're nearly actually over. Right, so what I was talking about, I'm wondering whether to actually kind of like cover this here, so I make actually like a flat surface to put some pockets and things, or whether we just want to have these open as like little envelope kind of pockets, which might be quite nice, to be honest. So yeah, perhaps I'll do it like that. So in which case, what I want to do is just cover here with the same sort of coordinating paper as the ends. Okay, so again, just take my paper down. Oops. Now, I could, if I was quite careful, I could actually kind of try and thread this in here, which would be really great, because it would kind of reinforce that envelope fold. So let's see if I can do this. Now, I might not be able to do this because it looks like it's going to require a little bit of careful precision work, and I'm not very careful or very precision based. So yeah, let's take this down. So what I would like to do is be able to thread this in here to get my envelope, whoops, covered. Like that. If I can squeeze that in there, like that. And then have it going right across here to the envelope. And the reason being is because then where this has got that folded join, that's kind of reinforcing it, which, you know, that's just a sort of good way to get it reinforced quite quickly. So what I might do, just wondering whether I'm better off gluing this now rather than tear it, because it's going to have to go in so far to actually kind of like be able to glue it down. Oh, do you know, let's just go for this. So yeah, again, just going to tear it around roughly where I've got the envelope shape. Gosh, I'm so sorry, like literally feel like the traffic couldn't be any noisier today. That was a huge lorry just went past and it just sounded so loud, didn't it? Right, so yeah, got that one. So that has to go right in, kind of right back there. So I'm just going to sort of neaten this up a bit because it looks a bit like a mouse has been sort of biting and nibbling at the edge of the paper. It doesn't look great, does it? Okay. Right. This is where, fingers crossed, I'm going to be able to get this in. So what I might do to make it just slightly easier is just kind of like go in slightly on those edges, just so that paper's slightly narrower when I'm threading it into this envelope flap. Okay, so put the glue down here, and then what I might do is not glue this section down just yet, because it's just going to make it sort of really messy to be gluing this down. So I'll just do this section here that's going in. I'm going to put lots down here on that fold line, like that. Okay, so squishing this in here, like that. Now what we need to do is make sure this goes in far enough that this piece now is kind of like in the right size or the right position here for the envelope. So that just looks perfect now. So again, squish that down with the glue spreader, and now I'm just going to kind of like flip this back to be able to put all of the glue here. So right the way around the edge of here, like that. Okay. Yeah, it looks a little bit like it could rain, but it's not forecast to rain today. I mean, it's just sort of muggy and really quite overcast. There's like no sun in sight today. I don't mind it like that, to be honest. I'd rather it's kind of just warm still and grey than, you know, kind of sunny and chilly, because sometimes it's kind of sunny, but when you get outside it's like, oh, it's quite cold. Right, so what I will do now, whilst this glue is still wet, I'm just going to fold that side in. Okay, just because I find it slightly easier to actually do that when the glue's wet. So squish that down, and then you can just, you know, go over it with your foam folder or your scissor handles or your glue spreader. Okay. So straight away what we've done, we've reinforced the fold line there. Now this fold line's already got two envelope thicknesses, if you see what I mean. Now where's that piece of paper that I said? Right, so in here I'm going to just try and fill it in with this. This is this is ambitious, because look at the state of this piece of paper. So let me just tidy that up, because it might be a bit easier if it's not quite so jaggedy. Well, let's just go for it and see, shall we? So just put glue all around here, obviously all them little nooks and crannies. Probably could have done with ironing this piece of paper now, couldn't I? Obviously it got sort of screwed up, you know, where I was tearing it. So okay, right, we're going to put this in here. Now I don't have a particular knack for doing this, so it's just like winging a prayer type stuff going on. So I'm going to kind of like try and slide it in that side, and now just going to slide it back over that side. Okay, so can you see I have dabbed some glue there, but you know, not too bad. We can just wipe that off. So yeah, it's not too bad. And obviously, you know, you can always cover these bits up. It's not like it's going to be permanent. If it looks really bad, we can always kind of put some lace or something like that there, but actually it doesn't look too bad. So yeah, I'm kind of quite pleasantly surprised by how we did that. Okay, squish this down like that. And again, you might want to just kind of like turn it over just to smoosh it all down. Okay, so just the same as we did here where we folded that in, I'm just going to fold this one in now as well. Again, squish that down now with your scissor handles or your bone folder or anything. Oops. And then open that out like that, and you've got straight away, you've got pocket here, and a pocket here. So looking good so far. So what we want to do now is just turn this over, and we want to cover the outside. Now bearing in mind this flap is folding in, so it's kind of technically part of the inside of the folio. So I've got here just some more paper just from my, or just some paper, sorry, from the Documents 3 collection. So I'm going to put this on here. So again, just open it out and then just, oops, measure that up like that. And we're just going to take this down like this. Okie dokie. Right. I mean, I'm tearing it across. I'm not necessarily saying that that's producing the neatest looks, but you know, I think it still looks pretty okay. So that's going to go there, and then at the front I'm going to use either some of this, which is again from the Paris collection, but it's obviously slightly different colours to the inside. I could use the remainder of this maybe. Oh, I mean, that's a tight squeeze, isn't it? Look, although that might be hanging off a bit actually. Could use that, it is quite tight. Or I've got this polka dot paper from my Totally Dotty papers, so we'll see. Let's put this one down first. I'm just going to double check that I've got this right way around. So it's to go this side because that's going to be the side that's, you know, technically on the inside of the journal. So excuse the back of this. This is some new labels that I'm in the middle of making. Okay, so right, plenty of glue. And I did get a message recently saying, you know, oh, why do I use so much glue? And I've said this loads of times before. I use so much glue because I would really rather things are properly stuck down than, you know, like in a sort of few months time, they're like peeling up. I really hate that. So I'd rather use like loads of glue, even if it does on the surface seem like, wow, that's really extravagant. I think kind of for durability and longevity, I think you need to use loads of glue. You know, I mean, I can only go by like sort of old scrapbooking pages and things that I've made. If I've used a lot of glue, they're going to last this, you know, the sort of test of time, is that the word? I don't know, but yeah, they're going to kind of like last. Whereas if you don't really use loads of glue, they're not necessarily going to be, you know, still stuck down particularly brilliantly in, you know, a few months time or a few years time. So, you know, the more glue, hopefully the more robust it's going to be. Right, so again, just going to fold this down, making sure that it's, you know, still nice and foldable. That one. And then this side, I need to now decide what paper I want to have in here. Now I've just mucked that up. Can you see there? Oh yeah, not done a very good job there. Right. Oops. So let me squish this down again. Okay. Right. And again, I'm just going to fold that down, make sure it's stuck down. Right, okay, looking good. So yeah, just need to decide, do we want to have this? I mean, it's quite pretty. It does kind of like, you know, tone nicely. Or I've got this, which we are kind of like pretty tight for whether it's really going to all be covered. I mean, it is just about covering. Or we could have this one, which is from the Paris collection, but it is obviously, like I say, slightly different sort of colourway to the inside. We could have that side. It feels even more of a different colourway, doesn't it? Oh, do you know, let's be brave and go for this, because to be honest, we can always cover this up. If it's not really quite fitting, we can always kind of put some sort of lace or something like that, or, you know, fill it in, so it's not the end of the world. So okay, so I mean, we've been pretty frugal with the papers that we've used. You know, we've covered the whole thing, and have we used 4 sheets of paper, I think? Not many. And I know I say this all the time, but obviously I'm using printables because that's what I have most of these days. If you wanted to use like 12 by 12 paper or anything like that, definitely that would, you know, that would work brilliantly. So yeah, you don't have to use printables. Right, so I'm going to put that on there. Obviously we're going to decorate the cover, so although it's kind of like just patched in, by the time we decorate it, it will be much more seamless and it will all look very pretty, I'm sure. So okay, so again, that plenty of glue. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay, so squish this down. Use my glue spreader, make sure that's really nice and stuck down everywhere. Yep, looking good. Okay, so what we want to do now is kind of like decorate up everywhere in here. So where we've got obviously like the pockets here formed from the envelope, I feel it's quite tricky to add more pockets really to this. You could add them, but you're going to just struggle because, you know, they potentially could look sort of slightly weird. I mean, that one actually doesn't look too bad like that. So we could have that one as a straight across pocket. Yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit strange when I put it in other places, but for some reason on this front piece, it actually looks okay. So I might go for that there. It's not really gaining us at all, if I'm honest, because this was a pocket anyway, if you see what I mean. But I guess what you could do now is have this slightly as a pocket here. The only thing is, it's going to be slightly tricky to get to, because when you put things in and out, they're going to get like hooked. Do you see what I mean? It's hooked here on this. So, you know, it's negligible really how much kind of use that pocket's going to actually be. What you could do is you could have like a few corner pockets or something. So just kind of like pick a corner and just then, you know, tear this round or something and have just a corner. So if I have it over this side, we could just tear this down here. And then that's quite a good pocket because that's just like a little tuck there. So you've still got the pocket for the envelope quite unencumbered really. And then you've just got this as a sort of smallish tuck spot. So I'm just going to take it back slightly more. Like that. Okay. So like that there. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? And then for these ones, what you can do is we're going to reinforce down here, perhaps with some lace or something. Or maybe we're not, actually. Let me think. No, we might not. So I think what I'll do is kind of like just decorate up these bits with just some like little kind of clustery bits or something like that. So let me just find some suitable things that we can put on here. So I've got loads of blue stuff here, which is not really going to go. Yeah, I didn't pick my stuff very well that I've kind of like brought along here, did I? I mean, weirdly, I don't mind this actually. I think it looks quite pretty on there. And we could have that. I mean, that's quite pretty, yeah. Let me just see. I've got a little blue label. So, to be honest, what we could do, yeah, is if we've got the addition of the blue here, we could just add some other blue touches with, like, a blue label and things like that. So, you know, we like working with, you know, what we've got here, but straight away we're adding some extra blue touches, which then is, you know, making it sort of all go a little bit better than just having like one really random blue thing, which then looked really strange, didn't it? Let me see what else I've got in blue. I mean, this is so, you know, not what I was planning to do. I can't tell you, but sometimes that's how projects go. They just kind of like take on a bit of a life of their own, don't they? So yeah, this one's definitely done that. So we could, yeah, something like that maybe. It's quite nice, isn't it? Not that happy with this. I feel like it needs to be something more solid, and, you know, much more blue. This is kind of like, the blue's a little bit lost, if you see what I mean. So it's just got this one with a bird cage, and that's quite pretty actually. Wonder if we could have that somewhere. Wonder if I could even have that like that, sort of hooked over. Oh, that looks a bit strange, doesn't it? Let's try this one. That's quite nice actually on there, isn't it? Might take the banner pieces off so as it sits on that blue background, you know, more neatly. Let's just see what else I've got. Oh, don't tell me now I've used up all the blue stuff already. That's just typical, isn't it? I'm now running out of blue things. So, you know, I started off by trying to find lots of blue. I mean, that's quite lovely actually, isn't it? What about if we have it like this? Let's just see if I've got anything else. This, oh, it's got some of these bits. Yeah, what a very unexpected, you know, colour scheme we're doing here, because I wasn't really anticipating doing these types of colours, but it actually looks quite nice, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm going to do it like this, I think. So, oops, what should I do with that? There, right, okay, and right, do we want this anywhere? Well, let's just see how we get on with this. So this is from my hydrangea ephemera pieces. So I'm going to put this down here. So I'll just quickly ink this up just to, you know, disguise my cutting. Okay, so that's going to go in there. Just ink this up a little bit. I think just having that little bit of blue there poking out, that's really nice. It sort of brings the blue all together, doesn't it? Which is lovely. This one, I'm going to just cut this down. So this is from, I think, the Swan Lake ephemera. Okay. Yeah, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So again, just ink that up a little bit. Like that. Probably want that quite next to the fold if possible, so I must try and sort of fit that in by the fold. What else have we got? That's blue. Got a label, got this. Yeah, I feel like I'm having to kind of like add quite a bit of blue to sort of, you know, like bring the blue really in, because otherwise it's perhaps just a little bit, you know, not quite right. So yeah, let me see what else I've got. Got a blue label. That one's a bit wrong colour blue, unfortunately. honestly, I mean, you've got to be so careful because, you know, you bring things in and you think, oh, that would be fine. And then it only takes for it to be a different type of shade. And then instead of it sort of looking cohesive and bringing the blue in, actually all it does is make it look quite cluttered and messy, because you've then got loads of different colours going on, which, of course, you know, doesn't look right at all. So, yeah, we just kind of like possibly have a little label somewhere. So, yeah, I'm quite liking all the different blues, to be honest. I think they look quite pretty. I haven't inked any of the actual folio itself, so I might ink that as well. Now, what colour lace shall we have? I'm thinking, do I have any blue? No, of course I don't. That would be just way too easy, wouldn't it? I have got this royal blue. I mean, this is going to be like really weird, but... Oh, I say it's going to be really weird. I mean, it is weird, don't get me wrong, but... I mean, I do love the whole vibrant, you know, like adding something really unexpected. So let's just cut this down. Because obviously it's quite wide, so, oops. Like that. Okay. So we could have that just kind of like on the edge there. Oh my goodness, isn't that gorgeous? Right, now I'm not going to glue anything down for a minute because I'm being very like Laurie with my choices. I want to just make sure that I'm definitely sure, you know, with everything I'm doing. I don't want to kind of like glue things down and then think, oh my goodness, what have I done with that? Or why have I done that? So, yeah, let's just kind of like pop a couple of things down here. So just ink this up. This might be, yeah, it might not be blue enough, to be honest. I wonder if I'd be better off having another little bit from that hydrangea, you know, so it's actually kind of like more the same. I think that might be better. What do you think? Just quickly ink this a bit. Is that the piece that I had? Doesn't look very inked up, does it? I don't think that can be. What have I done with that? I have no idea now. Oh, there it is. Right. Again, wish I could hear you guys and you could tell me. That one or that one? Well, maybe we'll go for this, actually. I think it does look quite nice. Now, I don't know where else to have this royal blue. Like I say, it is like pretty bold, isn't it? It's like, oh my goodness, what's that doing on there? Could have it there, or we could just have like a little bit. Let me just cut this down because it's really wide still, and then I've got like a little bit to play with, maybe poking out behind some things. Okay, so what we could do is have that there, like that, and then this, let me just cut this down for a minute. So we could just have like a little bit in here, just so as we've got the continuity of that blue like running right the way through the whole thing. It just brings the like cohesiveness kind of to it, doesn't it? Like all of it coming together and sort of, yeah, hanging together better. Just having a look to see what I could do with is some blue butterflies, really, but yeah, I can't now see any. I'm gonna have to go and find some, I think. Oh, I've got this butterfly. It's got pink and blue, but that's okay. I don't mind that. Yeah, I mean, just things like that. It's then bringing that blue in, isn't it? Now, I have got some blue flowers as well in the Swan Lake kit, so I might have to try and find some of the blue flowers as well, because they would then really kind of like tie in the blue, I think. So yeah, it will make it look quite pretty. Just going to take off another little bit of blue to see if we want that. You know, I don't know whether this will be too much, but kind of like that. And yeah, I mean, we could have Yeah, something like that. Now, I am wondering whether I should actually reinforce this with some blue lace, but... Oh no, I don't think we can. No, I don't think we can. Right, okay. So I'm going to start by gluing this down. Do you know, I still haven't inked any of the folio itself. I wonder whether I should do that. I might ink it in a moment, so... I mean, to be honest, it might not even need inking. You know, like, it kind of looks okay, I think. Maybe not inked at all. What do we think? Okay. Like that. Okay, so I've dug out some more blue bits now because it was driving me insane, to be honest. So yeah, we're going to have it like this. Now, I really love the blue lace down this end, so that's a kind of like definite. So let's just pop that down there. Oops. Okay. I mean, you'll notice I still haven't inked this. I'm in two minds, really. I don't really feel it needs inking, if I'm honest. So now I've covered her face up. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? Oh well, never mind. We can always put something over there completely. So she's disappeared from view altogether. Love this. So yeah, going to put this label in here. Like I say, this was totally not the way that I was anticipating this going, but it does look pretty cute, doesn't it? So like that. Okay, and yeah, gonna have this here. Now I've got this blue label. Just got a hot chocolate here on the go, so now I've put it down. I've now mislaid my ink. Okay. So yeah, we could have a label here, which again, it's just more blue tying it all in, isn't it? Isn't that weird? It looks quite cluttered when it's up there, but strangely, if I put it here, it's bringing it all together, isn't it? I mean, just the positioning of things makes such a huge difference to, you know, whether it looks kind of like cluttered or whether it looks finished. Obviously, we're looking for finished, really, not cluttered. So, right, got my ink now. Yeah, I think I'm just going to glue this down. So I will use my hot glue because this is gluing over the lace and the paper. So let me just pop a glue stick in. Hold on. Okey-dokey. Right, lots of little fiddly bits on this, so I'll see how I get on with the gluing, you know, in this precision way. Oh, it's very fiddly, to be honest. Thank goodness my glue gun's got a fine tip to it, because otherwise I'd have no chance whatsoever. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm quite pleased I've gone with the glue, the blue now. It really is looking very pretty, isn't it? Now, I don't know whether I might want to have any sari silk, so I'm just going to pull some in. It's a really long piece of sari silk now. Oh, hold on. Let's cut it there. Okay. Let's just see. I mean, because I was actually intending on having sari silk on the edge, really, not the blue lace, obviously, but yeah, kind of then just went with the lace because it looked really nice. So we could have like some ivory sari silk like on the edge as well as the lace, to be honest. That might finish that off quite nicely, or we might prefer to do it this end. So I'll just hold fire for a minute while I decide. I do really like this little label here, so let's pop that down. Like that, okay. Yeah, like that. Oops. And then this one, I'm not quite 100% about this one. I'm not sure what's not really working for me, but maybe it's just that it needs some other blue stuff. So let's just try this for a minute. Hold on. So if I was having this here, this here, this here, and then I've got some more of my Swan Lake pieces, which has got these big blue flowers. So this was what I wanted to put in, really, because I thought, oh, these might be really good for this. So let's just take these. Oops. Yeah, so I hope everybody is doing great. I hope you're having a nice day. Maybe you're doing some crafting, and do let me know what you're doing. Surprising how many people are also missing their crafty mojo. So yeah, thank you so much to everyone who left their suggestions. You know, for the first episode, the first episode of the Missing Mojo Masterclasses. Really appreciate it, because obviously, you know, there's no point putting things up that people don't really want to see. So yeah, really appreciate that. Thank you. Now I also put this label in here with potentially like this blue label on there as well. Let me just see with a few more blue things kind of dotted about how this would look. So I'm still thinking this whole middle section needs something else. I don't know what is the question. I'm not sure what's going on with that middle piece. Let's have it kind of more sideways on. I mean, that just looks really weird, doesn't it? But try this one again. I know I'd kind of rejected this one at first, didn't I? But let's just try it. Decisions. I have got just a label. Or what if we have a label like that? I know it's a bit the same, but sometimes that's just how it is, isn't it? Or maybe this. That's quite cute. Definitely, it was just kind of needing something else blue. I've got the funny feeling that this is not really bright enough, because it's actually been quite inked. You know, I've inked it up quite a lot. So I think maybe that's what I'm not really enjoying, is because it actually doesn't look that blue now. It's quite, you know, quite brown with the inking. Just see if we have a... I mean, I had originally put like that little bit of lace there, didn't I? Around, and I've found some more sort of card. This is my Rich Damask set 2. So I just wonder whether this might look better because it's a, you know, more vibrant blue. So let's just try. I mean, this one might not be ideal either, because it is a, you know, very dark blue, or very bright blue, perhaps I should say. But having said that, that's got a bit of bright blue in it, and yeah, what do we think to that? I mean, I personally think that looks better. Yeah, there was just something kind of, you know, not working for me with the other one. I think I'd over inked it, like I say, and, you know, it didn't then tie in very well. Now, do we want it with this big section, or do we want it, you know, smaller? I think probably smaller, actually. So let's just glue this down. In here. Like that. Okay, and then just trim this down now. Okie dokie. Now I'm just going to ink this up slightly, not too much, because otherwise I'm back to square one and it'll be like the other piece where it's too dark. Going to ink this label that we're just going to put in here. Okay, so that's going to go like that, like that. oops, this flower. Just have that on for, you know, a bit more blue. Woo, tying it all in together. And then do we want this bit of lace? Could even have it sort of up there or hanging on the bottom. What do we think? Yeah. Right, okay. So, yeah, I don't think I want it coming out here. I think I prefer it either at the top or the bottom, I think. So, yeah, we're going to glue this down. Now, again, I'm going to glue this in, this kind of label piece. I've shut the window now, and I thought it had, like, cooled down. And now it's only been shut for about 5 minutes. And already I'm like, oh, my goodness, it's really hot. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's way quieter, so I'm sure it is much better for you guys watching. But, yeah, it's really hot in here, so not brilliant. Right, this one, I'm going to put this one in here. This is just like a little section of a label, you know, frame that I've obviously used somewhere else, and then just got this little remnant sort of left. So, like that. Okay, and then this one, just quickly ink this up. Again, not too heavily, because, you know, we saw what we thought to it being too heavily done, didn't we? But just again, glue this in here. Oops. Come on. Like that. Just so we've got the touch of blue poking out. So like that. Right, this one we're going to have here, and then let's just check now. So, going to have this down here, this here, the butterfly, I think there. I do quite like that one there, so let's pop that one down. Okay. And then, yeah, that there. Now, I was wondering whether to put the sari silk going down this edge or that edge, so let's try that. So that's it on that edge. Okay, and that's it on that edge. Oops. Oh, it's just catching on me with its fraying kind of edges. Right, that's that edge. That's that edge. I kind of want to put it on this edge, really. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay, actually. So, yeah, let's put this lace down here. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay. Again, just squish that down. Okay, and then this. Just checking that I want it on the pocket and not up there. It's a bit weird because obviously these aren't up there. But having said that, I'm planning on putting some pages in this, more like a journal. So, you know, it might not actually be, you know, that evident, to be honest, if it's up there. But, yeah, probably better down here, to be honest. Okay. And then just wondering, if we want to have like a frame or something up here. Maybe like that. It's quite nice, isn't it? Let me just ink this up. Yeah, my daughter's gone to the park now, so yeah, she's gone with her friend. Well, she's gone to meet her friend, perhaps I should say. And she's coming back because she wants to go to the shops and get some rolls for her lunch. So, okay. Now, do we like it like that, or do we prefer it like that more? Probably prefer it like that, actually. Right, okay, so let's glue all these bits down. So again, just going to do this with the hot glue because it's gluing over the lace and everything. one. And then we'll just pop a blue flower there. Again, just bringing more sort of blue into this, which looks then really nice. Now, we're going to have that there, I think. Let me just see whether we want any more blue lace anywhere. If we have it more like this. No, 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 no. Maybe like that, to be honest. It's quite a nice kind of balance, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so I'm going to just glue this lace down. There. Then we'll pop the picture frame down. Not the picture frame. Well, I mean, I guess it is a picture frame, but you know, the frame. Like that. Could have put that down as a pocket, to be honest. I should have done. So yeah, if you're making a little kind of project like this, you know, where you've got these frames and things, you could put these down as pockets. I just totally was, yeah, not obviously focusing and concentrating, and I should have put it down as a frame. I don't know really why I didn't. Like that. Okay, and then the butterfly we're just going to have up here. So, you know, we've got like sort of mimicking elements everywhere around the whole thing, haven't we? You know, it's all kind of like picking up the same element. We stick these bits down. No, not the butterfly yet. So just quickly pop the butterfly down. Again, this is nonsense. I don't need to be using the hot glue, but that was just the glue that I happened to grab. So, okay. Right, this side, we're going to glue this in here. Now, this one is further back than the envelope. So what we could do is actually do this like a tuck spot, to be honest. So that way it's, you know, not sort of in the way of the fold, but it's also not in the way of the flap of the envelope. And because it's not a pocket, it's a tuck spot, it's kind of easier to get to anyway and easier to use. So we'll pop that just there like that. Okay. So squish that one down. Okay. And then, yeah, we're going to have the butterfly, I think, probably on here. And again, like I say, I'm going to bind some pages into this. So, to be honest, by the time I do that, although these may look like they're sort of all in a line, they won't look like that. Because, obviously, you know, you're not actually going to see all the sides of this at once. So, just quickly put a couple of flowers down. Like that. Oh my goodness, honestly, it's so warm in here. Literally sweltering now. It's just one of those days, you know, like where literally 1 second you're kind of like thinking it's okay, and then the second you move, actually it's probably the second you move, you're like, oh my goodness, it's really warm. It's very, very, very muggy. Right, do we want that down there or do we want it up there? I quite like it at the top, strangely. Yeah, I quite like it at the top, so let's just pop it up there. Okay, like that. Didn't glue that down anywhere. Could have that there. Maybe down here. Or we could have it over there, covering up that lady's face. Now, I also thought that I would have a little bow there, so let me just see whether I've got anything. Got this royal blue, like a polka dot one. Could have that there. It's a little bit lost, if I'm honest. You know, I thought it would look great because it's a good colour match, but to be honest, it's actually a little bit too good a colour match. You can't really see it. It's not standing out. So let me just get a sort of a different shade blue. Yeah, I think that looks better just because it really wasn't standing out particularly well. So let's just put this down like that. Little flower. Put that there. And then pop that there. Oh, you know what I've forgotten? We were going to glue the sari silk down on this edge, weren't we? Now, of course, I've put that flower down. Now I'm in the process of putting the bow down. So yeah, we won't be having the sari silk down here after all. Totally forgot that. Right, okay. Whoops. So yeah, let's just have this here. Okay. Looking good. And then we've got this side now, which of course is currently kind of plain. So we'll put something on here. Now I have got like this from the Paris papers, which of course this is perfect because it's got the blue in it. So again, totally not, you know, not planned. I've just happened to have used the blue, but how perfect would that be? And what we could do is just have it as like a little pocket going straight down the edge. So I think what I'll do, I'll just fold this in like that. Squish that down. Okay, so we'll just cut this down now. Oops. Like that. Okay. And then pop this here. Now, do we want it lower down or do we want it higher up? Probably lower down because I like the flowers showing. So I'm just going to cut it down here for a bit. Then I'll probably cut some off the top as well. So I'm just going to take that in slightly smaller. Okay, and then we'll just take it down by just a fraction here. Like that. Okay, put that onto there. Right, that looks good, doesn't it? Now I'm not liking this. You know, like I do one bit and then I look at another bit that then I don't like after I've done the bit before, if you see what I mean. So let me just see. Can't remember now. What did we use there? Oh, we used that. Oh dear. Right. I'm just wondering whether I might put some of this here. Right, let me just take this down here. That doesn't look great either, does it? Oh dear. I hadn't really planned this one very well, had I? Right. We could have it like that, and then we could just have it like torn down the other side, I suppose. Let me just check that I wouldn't prefer the polka dot paper. I'm just obviously using things that I've got here. I mean, that's quite nice. Hang on, I've just got another sheet of polka dot. Let me try this one. I mean, obviously it's quite different because it's different colour, but what do we think to that? I don't mind that actually. So yeah, let's just take this one. So take it down to the rough height of the folio like that. And then just going to take that down here. Right. I might tear this down so that it's not got this straight edge. Okay. Yeah, I just decided that actually that green didn't really have any place there because obviously nothing else much really was green in here. So yeah, I think it looks kind of better with the blue. Right, okay. I don't think we need to actually what do you call it? Right, I'm going to have it here. So just a fraction above there. Yeah, I don't think we need to tear that edge down because actually it looks okay straight. So just take this. Okie dokie. Like that. Just we set a bit above there, didn't we? Yep. Okay. Squish this down. Looking good. And yes, smoosh it down, especially on the fold there. And again, I like to just kind of go in where the fold is and make sure that that's, you know, still nice and foldable. Okay, right, so now we can just put this here as a little pocket edge, which looks really cute. And then we can put some sari silk or something down the edge there. So let's just do this one. Oops. Like that. Okay, I've moved it over slightly because if we're going to have sari silk down there, I don't want to cover up all of this. So I've just moved it over a fraction to put the sari silk running down the side. So let's just ink this up a little bit. Not too much, but just a bit. Okay. Here, and then we'll do just a bit on the front. Haven't done anything on the front yet. I need to kind of decide what we're doing on the front. Because again, now I'm thinking, oh, the front, it's got green and we haven't really got green anywhere else. So, yeah, I'm back to that sort of quandary again of the, oh, where's the green on here? It's just got none. So why have we got green anywhere? Right, let's take the sari silk. Yep, we can then put sari silk straight down the edge of here, which will look gorgeous. So let's ruffle this up down the edge. Okay, oops. Oops, I'm just going to pop a little bit more glue there. Okay, and then a little bit more to go right down to the bottom. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay, so yeah, really gorgeous. I didn't ruffle it too much because I didn't want it too thick. So it's just kind of a small ruffle, but it's enough. It's enough. It looks pretty. Now, do we want to have anything else in here or on here that's kind of like tying in like the other sort of stuff that we've got on here? So obviously we've got lots of the hydrangea type things, haven't we? So let's just see. Could have something from here. This is some old photo paper that I bought previously. And I don't know whether you can see that. It's just not very vibrant. I don't know what brand this was. It was, you know, like I said, I've had it for a long time and I was just using up sort of odd sheets. But yeah, it's not particularly great. It's got like some sort of powder coating, it feels like anyway, that's really sort of preventing it from being very bright. So yeah, it's very disappointing. Because if you compare it to, like, you know, the two, it's just nowhere near as bright as the more recent ones with the other photo paper. So I mean, photo paper does vary, obviously, doesn't it? So okay, so in a second what we'll do, we'll just quickly decorate up the cover, and then all I'm going to do after that, I'm going to include some pages in this like a journal, bound into it like a journal, stuff the pockets, and then that's it. It's done. So okay, do we want that there? Now I'm thinking maybe I prefer it with the butterfly. Yeah, maybe I do, to be honest. It's not helping because this is not looking very vibrant, which I'm just, yeah, not loving that. It's really annoying that it's looking sort of dull. I mean, it probably doesn't really look dull, but it looks dull compared to everything else, I feel. So yeah, let's just go for this one instead. So again, this from the Swan Lake kit. Very cute little sort of topper type piece. And then, do we want any of the blue lace? Let's just see. Oh, this must be from something else because I don't think I've cut any that thin, have I? Yeah, we could just have it like that. Just so we've got a little bit of that blue coming out. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. And then just see whether we want to have anything running sort of down the edge of that pocket. So, I mean, actually, we could have even had this because it's a nice little skinny strip, isn't it? Oh, that just looks weird, doesn't it? It's like hemming that pocket in. So, yeah, maybe it looks better without anything, to be honest. I could have something at the top or something at the bottom, to be honest. Let's just take that. Right, do we like it at the top or do we like it at the bottom? That's it at the bottom. I think I prefer it on the bottom for this one. So, yeah, let's just pop that down there. Oops. Like that. Okay, super cute. Okie dokie. Right. Looking good. Now, did we want to have any other of the butterflies or anything? So I've got a couple more. Oh, they're quite big, aren't they? Yeah, they're quite big. Did I have some more? Oh, I also had this blue postage stamp which I dug out while I was grabbing my drink, and I thought, oh well, that's another blue, you know, blue piece. Oh my goodness, that looks gorgeous there, doesn't it? But now I'm thinking, oh, that's so nice, we might want that on the cover. Oh, do you know, I mustn't be stingy. Let's just have it in here. Must not be stingy. So yeah, this was just on a piece of lace which I'd done ages ago. Like sort of prepping them for something else. Okay, so it's all looking lovely, isn't it? Got that like that, and that then like that. Now we just want to now do something with the cover. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do with the cover, but we've got a couple of like potential topper type pieces here. So let's just take these down. Okay. I mean, like I say, I'm sort of regretting having the green because I'm like, oh, I haven't really used green anywhere else in here. So yeah, in hindsight, it wasn't really, you know, great. But I mean, we could have even cover the green up if I'm feeling that strongly about it. So we could have it covered up. Oh yeah, I think I do prefer it covered up. I mean, how ridiculous. But right, let's just take this one. So yeah, straight away I feel like I much prefer that. I know, weird, you know, the other paper was actually part of the papers, but they're just, it didn't feel like there was any real green in there, and it was like, yeah, not kind of like fitting. Whereas there are sort of quite a few like pinky shades, so yeah, this just feels like it's going much better. So okie dokie. Okay, put that on there, like that. Right, okay, so again, we're going to just use the glue spreader, spread that out. Okay. Right, so, yep. Now, this one I'm going to just ink up slightly. Unfortunately, the glue is obviously wet, so I might get a little bit dark, you know, in places from the wet glue, but let's just, you know, let's just go for it anyway, because otherwise I'll be here sort of too long. Right, let's take this. Okay, and just wondering about mixing it in with this, just so we've got, again, like a little bit of continuity with the blues that we've used elsewhere. So, oh, I've got another bit of this blue. I can't even think what I've used this blue for so far recently, but yeah, I've obviously been using it for something, haven't I? Because it's everywhere. Got bits of it everywhere. That's quite pretty down the edge like that. Oh, I do have this bit of pink. Not sure whether I can bring myself to use it, because of course I must have been holding this. So yeah, can I bring myself to is the question. Probably not. Probably not. I'm not loving this because it's straight. Let me just see if it looks better if I tear it down. Feels like it's a little bit too, you know, too uniformy when it's straight. So just tear it down like that. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? So let's just glue this down. I'll just ink this a little bit. Okay. Okie dokie. And we'll just glue this down on the edge. Like that. Hold it. Right. Okay. Smoosh that down like that, and then just, yeah, cut this down there. Honestly, who would have thought that these colours would go so lovely together? They really do look pretty, don't they? Now I've just got this, which I'm kind of thinking I could have that sort of poking out really. What do we think to that? Let me just ink this up a bit. I really hate the way this is, you know, so dull. It's really distracting me. You know, it's just, yeah, preventing me from liking it. Anywhere I put it, it's like, oh no, I hate the look of it. Which is rubbish because, you know, probably a lot of people wouldn't even notice, would they? But, I mean, us junk journalists, we would. Okay. Put that down. Just put it here for a minute. But, yeah, maybe kind of have that more sticking out there. Yeah. So, like that. Okay. Right, we're going to have this here now. Just see whether I want to have any of these kinds of like bits that I've got laying around anywhere. It's always good to use things that are just laying about on the desk, isn't it? I mean, that's quite cute, to be honest. So, yeah, let's just cut this down. Oh, that's very cute. So, yeah, just going to glue this down. Okay. Like that. Press that down, and that's going to go on there. So I will glue this with hot glue because obviously it's going over like multiple different kind of like surfaces, you know, the fabric and the paper. So we're going to have that like that. Now I'm just wondering whether I want to have a little bit of the blue lace kind of coming out anywhere. Let me just cut down a little bit. Yeah, maybe kind of something like that, or do we want it here? I don't want it to look like it's totally like framed, if you know what I mean, because then we're back to that sort of hemmed in type feeling, which, you know, that just then feels a little bit weird, doesn't it? So yeah, I think something like this. So again, just going to glue this down here like that. Okay. And this one, yeah, it's just going to have there. So this one I'm just going to glue with the hot glue. Like that. Okay. Oops. Like that. Okie dokie. I mean, how gorgeous is this looking? So pretty, isn't it? What a beautiful cover. And then just got a couple of butterflies here, which I'm like, oh, should we have butterfly? Oh my goodness, that looks so pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely love that butterfly there. Do you want anything else on here? I mean, that's quite cute. I can't actually even read that to see whether that's up the right way or the wrong way. I'll end up putting it on the wrong way. I mean, not that that would bother me that much, but obviously this is the cover, so that wouldn't be great if I'd actually put it even on the cover the wrong way up. Yeah, I mean, again, when I take it off, I kind of think, oh, it does look better with it on. So it's just kind of getting all those bits of interest, isn't it? You know, which when you then take it away, it's like, oh, actually, it's quite boring without it. So pop this little butterfly down. This one I think is just from my Peacock Palace, this butterfly. But yeah, it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So yeah, love that. Now I've got some blue flowers, but I think they're going to be very, very, very monstrous on here. So let me just see. I think this is going to be, oh, maybe not, maybe not. I thought it was going to just like swamp the whole thing, but oh, I'm so sorry. Just dropped the lid of the container that I kept the flowers in. It's dropped right down the back of my shelf, so I'll never be able to get that again. I mean, not that I really need it, but yeah, I love that flower on there. Isn't that just gorgeous? Let's just see if we want to have any other lace or anything. And that looks quite pretty up there. Okay, let's just snip that down. Okay, like that. Honestly, Bo's like left the room. She's like, oh, this room's a hazard. It's just a hazard waiting to happen. Taking my life in my hands by being in here. Yeah, she obviously heard that fall down and thought, what? Where is that going? I mean, it was nowhere near her, but I mean, probably to her little ears, you know, probably sounded very near her. So yeah, she's obviously decided not to risk it anymore. She's left the room. Okay. Just see if I want to have this anywhere. I do always like to have a little ruffle, to be honest, but I think we might be ruffle free here. It is quite nice actually along the bottom, so maybe not. Yeah. So I'm just going to put this down the bottom like that. It just kind of like finishes the bottom off, doesn't it? Okay. Right. There we go. That out. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous is this looking? I'm just going to glue this down slightly more. Again, just because you want to make sure things are glued down, you know. Yeah, and then that blue flower just finishes it off. I mean, it is big on there. There's no getting away from that, but it does look gorgeous, doesn't it? Okay. And then you could just have like a sari silk, you know, just tying it closed. So I wouldn't even necessarily, you know, attach that anywhere. Maybe just have it, you know, as a removable closure. Yeah, something like that. Or possibly I would have it this way. It's quite nice. Oops. Oh gosh. Honestly, that's the problem with sari silk, is you get all those threads and they just catch on everything. So then, you know, you're constantly picking up other things. Oh, I prefer it that way round, I think. So yeah, having the bow this way round. So on the inside now, all I'm going to literally do is I want to bind a few pages in here and then just stuff the little pockets with a few things. We've got a little pocket there and then that's done. So hold on. Okay, so what I've done, I've selected a bunch of pages. I've got some vintage fly sheet. I've got a little bit of vintage document and things like that. And then I'm just going to kind of like enclose them. So let me just check that I've got them all tucked in. Yep, I have. And then I'm just going to bind them into here. So literally the usual way of kind of like just binding something. So, oops, just going to clamp them in with my thingamabob. And then we'll just go through. So just one in the middle. And I'm just using some normal like embroidery thread. Oops. Thought it would be quite nice in this blue colour. So we just do 1, 2, like this, nice and easy to bind, like that. And then we'll just go through the other end and then back through the middle for this. You know, it's not like a huge, great big journal or anything, so it doesn't really need kind of like more than one time around. And then just straight through the middle hole again, preferably coming up the other side of the thread that's already there. So pull it nice and tight. You might want to take your bulldog clip off for the pulling it tight, otherwise you've kind of got like resistance there to how tight you're going to be able to get it. So like that, and then just literally, oops, thread it through. And then I like to knot it like the other way in the opposite direction, because that makes it a nice strong knot. You know, that's not going anywhere now. And then just snip that off like that. So let me pop that away. This, I'm just trying to keep things tidy. So then what you've got is a cute little journal bound within your little kind of folio. And then what I've done here, I've just brought along some extra little bits and pieces so that I can just pop in here. Oops, pop in here. Okie dokie. So, you know, you could always kind of like glue something on. So maybe here we could just glue this one on here. So I'll just glue this with my hot glue. Like that. It's just sort of an extra few pages there, and then pop in your extra bits. Just got a journal card there from some packaging. Just tried to pick things that sort of, you know, went nicely colour wise with the actual journal itself. Got here just a little yeah, foldy piece with like a few extra journal pages. Again, that can just kind of like hang out over there. And then on this side I've got this tuck spot, so tuck that into there. And then I've got this, whoops, this little fold out piece. Just pop that in there. Actually, I'm going to swap these around because otherwise I feel like I've got too much green at that end and not enough green on this end. So that's going to pop in there. This one pop in here like that. Oh my goodness, that's a little bit tricky to get to, but yeah, that's fine. There we go. Oops, like that. So then you've got your complete piece there all made, and then what I would do is, yeah, I'm going to tie it round with my sari silk. Whoops. Just like that. Okay, I feel like I need something else on the cover, so I'm just going to put a little bow on here. I have got a green one. I'm not sure whether the green really is quite ideal, but well, maybe. Let's just check. That's the green one. Let me just try a blue one. Hold on 2 seconds while I just grab in a blue one, or I've even got a peach. No, I think probably blue. Hang on a minute. Yeah, the blue. Definitely 100% the blue. So just going to pop that on there just to finish that off. There we go. So that's a complete little folio. I mean, it took actually about an hour and a half. I've obviously tried to cut some of the video out, but yeah, in a little, you know, or about an hour and a half, you've got this gorgeous little folio. You've got a sort of journal in here. Lots of room for obviously journaling. Oh no, I've bound that in upside down. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? I should have paid more attention to putting it in the right way up. And then you've got your tuck spaces here, little piece there and a piece there, and some journaling space here. So you've actually got, oh sorry, that was also a pocket which I'd forgotten, so yeah, we'll just pop that in that pocket there. So you've actually got a lot of journaling space in here, to be honest, and what a gorgeous little gift that would make for somebody. So, you know, be it a kind of teacher's gift or something like that, but a nice quick and easy project, you know, doesn't take kind of too much time or anything, didn't really use too many materials or anything like that. So yeah, I will pop this into my shop on my website. So yeah, if you wanted to check it out over there, it will be over there. But yeah, I hope that you like it, hope you have fun, and I hope that this has inspired you to make one. So do share your pictures on the Facebook group or anything if you decide to make one of these, and let me know what you think. Don't forget to drop your suggestions for obviously next Friday's masterclass, because obviously this is a subscriber led you know, episode, or you know, program or whatever. So yeah, drop your suggestions for future projects that you would like to see, quick and easy, that are going to spark your mojo. So yeah, really appreciate a big thumbs up to this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much then. Bye.